are listening to the Pathfinder Guru Podcast, where we help you to become a greater leader. Join us as we take the Advent message to all the world in our generation. So, are you ready to become a guru in this ministry?
Attention! Welcome to the Pathfinder Guru Podcast, and thank you very much for joining us. I hope that you're doing well and you are safe under the shadow of God's wonderful, wonderful wings. I'm so excited that you are able to join us in today's episode, and I thank God that He has been with you and protecting you, and you are here to listen more, to grab tips and tricks so that we can all be gurus in this beautiful ministry which God has given us. In today's episode, we are going to talk about key things to know when you are doing your achievement classes. Most of the time when we are doing our progressive classes or achievement classes, we tend to forget the most important things which I want us to touch on. This will help us not only to become perfect or rather good leaders, but it will assist us in being able in running our clubs and our progressive classes smoothly so that when all is said and done, all children may reach the Invest Teacher program. And I thought I should share these tips because I've been moving around in my local district, doing my assessments. And I just wanted to share some few tips that may also help you and assist you so that as you are doing your curriculum, you are able to improve so that at the end of the day, you may work easily so that you may finish the curriculum with ease. Now, the first thing that I want us to talk about when we talk about achievement classes is that you need to have a curriculum plan. I cannot emphasize and stress how important this is because it helps you to be on track. I remember us mentioning it in a previous episodes when I was touching on a different topic, whereby I said it is very much important to have a plan so that even if something happens along the year, you are able to move it around and it is easy to switch plans once you have a plan. But if you do not have a plan, it is very much difficult to switch things around. So it is very much key to have a curriculum plan. We see it at schools. When you go to school, you know that term 1 you are doing this, term 2 you are doing that, so that it guides you in doing what you need to do and how you need to plan. Teachers are able to set proper things and prepare themselves for every lesson because they have a guide. Same applies with you as an instructor in the curriculum. You need to be well aware, well equipped so that you may be able to plan, and everything runs smoothly when you have a plan on where you are going and directing your path. Things become much more easier to do in the curriculum. Now, the second thing that I find important is that we need to ensure that we are marking children's books. I cannot emphasize this enough. It is very much important when you are marking books and updating children's books. This assists you, number one, that you are always knowing where your children are because some are not doing the work, some are not as further as the others. But once you are marking books, you are able to take note so that others who needs to catch up with the work are able to catch up. Don't find yourself when you are left with 2 weeks to assessment, that is the only time that you are doing your marking of children's book. It also motivates children so that they can do more and become better, because at the end of the day, a marked activity book motivates children to do more and to notice their mistakes and improve, because it is something that they take pride in because they've investing their time, their efforts in ensuring that they reach the Invest Teacher. So ensure that the books they are marked. Even if you say you're going to mark once a month, that is also okay, but ensure that it's always marked so that you are also being able to be assisted in the curriculum. When you look at dates, when we ask you when did you start, that's where we are able to determine, are you moving fast in the curriculum? Are you moving slow in the curriculum? We are able to advise you on certain things and how to do it because the book is marked with dates, and we are able to check where do you need to fix and how you need to fix it. And the third thing, which I find it as very much important, is that you need to start with all the basics before you move to the advanced part of it. And as you see in your curriculum, it will always say, before you start with the advanced, it will say, for example, complete the friend requirement, something like that. So ensure that you do all your basic requirements so before you move to the advanced, because this will also help you to plan accordingly and you are able to push together. What happens when you mix the basic and the advanced is that the advanced now has more work that needs to be done done and it takes much more time. But if you are done with the basic, then you can move to the advanced part of it. And I always recommend teachers, instructors to always do the advance. And once you say to yourself that you want to do an advance, it means that you need to have a plan, as we mentioned on the first point, so that you are able to structure out everything and include having such a program. This will make it much more easier for you to accomplish it. But if you are not going to do that, it is going to be very much difficult for you to do the advance. Hence, you find people doing both the basic requirements and the advance, and they find themselves not even investing in that very same year or in the time period which you have set. You are mixing and changing the curriculum. You're moving from this requirement to the other requirement. So be strategic about how you do things. And when all is said and done, you will be pushing well. When you are pushing, children will be motivated and you will reach that invest teacher. I pray that you are going to implement the small tips and tricks which I try to share with you today so that we can all improve, because at the end of the day, when we look at achievement classes, they are the core of the ministry. And once we understand that they are the core of the ministry, we are able to focus on it. We need the physical, we need the mental, and we need the spiritual. So if we balance all those things, we are doing perfect job. But for now, as you're continuing to work in the ministry, getting the tips and tricks, improving day by day, you are dismissed with love from the Pathfinder Guru.